Ellos son David Havoc, Jade Puget, Vic Chalker y Adam Carson. AFI, A Fire Inside. En concierto en especiales Telehit. Comenzamos.
Carnales de Telehit, y bueno, tenemos un especial de lujo en estos momentos de visita aquí en el Distrito Federal, una muy buena banda, AFI. David Hunter, thank you very much for your time this interview.
Absolutely, thanks for having us.
So, December Underground, did you consider this album the best AFI album?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. We worked so hard on it, and we spent so much time writing and in the studio and focusing on the songs and the songwriting that we took 2 years to get it out, and that was a means to get us to where we were artistically with the album by the time that we finished it, and it's by far our greatest achievement artistically.
Cool. And now, what could be the biggest challenge in order to do this album?
I mean, it definitely took a lot of time to write it, and probably more time than we've ever spent recording it as well. And it wasn't, so much a challenge. We just really wanted to make sure that we were doing everything as best we could.
And now, the last single here in Mexico is Love Like Winter. What could be the most important thing you want to express with that song?
Well, a lot of what I express in the songs I really like to keep personal, and that's actually the case for Love Like Winter as well. I like people to be able to take what they want from the songs without my interpretation coloring their opinions of the songs. Most of my meanings are multifaceted anyway. So, chances are if you're going to extract something from it that means something to you, it could have the same meaning to me.
This is what I brought you, this you can keep. This is what I brought you, may forget me. I promise you my heart just promised to sing. Kiss my eyes and let me kiss you. Kiss my eyes and let me kiss you. This is what I thought you need me. This is what I thought, so think me naive. I promise you a heart, you promise to be. Kiss my
talking about the beginning of you as a musician and as a human being, I know that you have an Italian roots. What could be the most important thing that you admire about Italian culture?
Probably the food.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in an Italian American family, and all my grandmothers cook amazingly. So the food.
And then you move to Berkeley to study psychology and English, right?
Yes, yeah.
Why do you choose that?
I'm a fan of literature, and I'm a fan of investigating the human mind and what makes people act and react the way that they do. But I really didn't get too involved in it because I needed to drop out early on to continue pursuing rock and roll, which I find far more interesting than either of those other subjects.
And now, Hunter, you started with the band during the time the Fire Inside EP. Is that right?
A little bit earlier than that, actually. I joined up with these guys during the Very Proud of Ya tour.
Okay. And what did you think about the band before joining AFI?
I was a fan. I was definitely a fan. I mean, the music was considerably different than it is now, but that was what I was into at the time.
And you also always been really you like a lot poetry. What could it be the most important thing, or what caught your attention about poetry beside another artistic expression?
Really, I've found more interest in literature. I'm not a huge fan of poetry in general. I tend to read more fiction than I do poetry. But I like the expression that's involved in poetry. I actually tend to gravitate to writers who are more poetic, whether or not they're writing technical poetry or whether or not they're writing prose or whether or not they're just writing fiction or nonfiction. I like the expression of emotion through words. I think words are very interesting, and they convey such meaning and can be so colorful when used in the correct way to express emotion.
Cool. And a long time ago, you were in a band called Some of Sam, right? That it was a side project that you
Yeah.
had.
I recorded for the record. It wasn't really a band, but yeah.
But at some point, the other members of that band tell you, "Hey, let's do something again."
No,
You do
it was just a one-time thing.